You often dream of more time, more moments with loved ones, more experiences, more knowledge, more life lived to its fullest. You picture a future, perhaps a century from now, still vibrant, still engaged. This isn't just a fantasy, it's a deep, human craving. But your body has other plans. The idea of living to 150 years old, or even much longer, seems appealing. Yet your biology, honed by millions of years of evolution, is fundamentally designed against it. Why does your body eventually break down? Is it simply inevitable wear and tear? The real answer is far stranger than you might imagine. It's not just about failing parts. It's about a deeply ingrained strategic trade-off. Evolution isn't interested in your extreme longevity. It cares about something else entirely. What could be more important than living a long, healthy life? Reproduction. Passing on your genes is evolution's prime directive. Your body dedicates its resources to this goal above all else. This isn't a moral judgment. It's a biological imperative. Does this sound cold? Think of it like this. Your body has a budget. Energy, nutrients, cellular machinery. These are finite resources. You can spend them on repair and maintenance, or you can spend them on growth and reproduction. Evolution pushed your ancestors to prioritize the latter. They needed to reproduce quickly and successfully. Why waste precious energy on fixing every little thing if you might be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger tomorrow? This concept is called the disposable Soma theory. Soma refers to your body cells, everything that isn't germline, sperm, or egg. The theory suggests that your somatic cells are, in evolutionary terms, disposable. They exist to carry your reproductive cells to the next generation. Once that mission is accomplished, their upkeep becomes less of a priority. Is this a bleak outlook? Not necessarily. It simply explains a fundamental evolutionary constraint. Dr. Thomas Kirkwood, a pioneering researcher in aging, helped popularize this idea. He noted that if an organism is unlikely to survive external threats, like predators or disease, it makes little sense to invest heavily in robust internal repairs. You wouldn't put bulletproof tires on a car you know will crash. What kind of repairs are we talking about? Your cells are constantly being damaged. DNA gets broken. Proteins misfold. Waste products build up. Your body has intricate systems to fix these issues, but these systems are costly. They require energy, they use resources. When the benefits of these repairs dwindle, perhaps because you've already reproduced, or because external threats are too high, evolution stops pushing for maximum maintenance. It's a calculation of cost versus benefit. And for longevity, the benefit often plateaus quickly. Another key evolutionary concept is antagonistic pleiotropy. This term, introduced by Dr. George the 100th Williams in the 1950s, sounds complex. It simply means that a single gene can have multiple, sometimes opposing effects. Some genes might offer a huge advantage early in life, helping you grow strong and fertile. But these very same genes might have detrimental effects later on. For instance, high testosterone levels help men with reproduction in their youth. But later in life, these same levels can increase the risk of prostate issues. Is that a fair trade? Evolution favors genes that enhance early life fitness, even if they shorten lifespan. The negative effects emerge asterisk after asterisk reproduction, so they don't significantly impact gene transmission. Your biology is optimized for peak performance when it matters most for passing on your lineage, and that isn't typically at 100 years old. So what exactly happens when your body ages? It's a complex cascade of events. One major factor is cellular senescence. These are cells that have stopped dividing. They're not dead, but they're not fully functional either. They hang around like grumpy, inactive residents, secreting inflammatory molecules. These molecules contribute to a host of age-related diseases. They're called zombie cells for a reason. Do they cause all the problems? Another mechanism involves telomeres. Think of these as the plastic caps at the end of your shoelaces. They protect your chromosomes, the long strands of DNA that carry your genetic information. Every time your cells divide, these telomeres get a little shorter. Eventually, they become too short, signaling the cell to stop dividing, leading to senescence. This is a built-in cellular clock. Does this clock run at the same speed for everyone? Not exactly. Lifestyle factors can influence telomere shortening, but the fundamental process is universal. Then there's mitochondrial dysfunction. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of your cells. They generate energy. As you age, these powerhouses become less efficient and produce more damaging byproducts. Your cells effectively lose their energy source. This impacts everything. Every single cell needs energy. Historically, human lifespan was incredibly short. In ancient times, the average life expectancy was perhaps 20-35 years. This wasn't because our bodies were inherently designed to fail at 30. It was due to what scientists call extrinsic mortality. People died from accidents, infections, starvation, and violence. There was no clean water, no vaccines, no antibiotics. A simple cut could be fatal. Did our ancestors age faster then? Not necessarily. Those who survived childhood and avoided external threats could often live into their 60s, 70s, or even 80s. What changed? Agriculture provided more stable food sources. Sanitation reduced disease. Modern medicine, particularly antibiotics and vaccines, dramatically lowered infant and childhood mortality. These advancements allowed more people to reach their full, natural lifespan potential. We've shifted from battling external threats to confronting internal, biological limits. The maximum human lifespan, however, hasn't changed much. The oldest verified human, Jeannie Calment, lived to 122. There are very few supercentenarians, individuals who live past 110. The number of people reaching 100 has exploded, but the ceiling seems stubbornly fixed. This suggests a biological limit, a hard wall. Is this ceiling unbreakable? Some scientists believe it is. A study published in Nature in 2016 by John Weig and colleagues analyzed global demographic data. They found that while average life expectancy continued to increase, the age of the oldest person in the world seemed to plateau. They concluded that there might be a natural, fixed limit to human lifespan around 115 years. Is this truly the final answer? Perhaps not. This is where the counterintuitive twist comes in. What if the rules are changing? What if we could actually intervene in the aging process itself? Modern science is no longer content with just treating age-related diseases. Researchers are actively working to slow, stop, or even reverse aging itself. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's happening in labs right now. Think about medications like Metformin. It's a drug for type 2 diabetes. But studies suggest it might have broader anti-aging effects, impacting cellular metabolism. Then there's rapamycin, an immunosuppressant. It inhibits a crucial pathway in cells called mTOR, which plays a role in growth and metabolism. Suppressing mTOR can extend lifespan in various organisms, from yeast to worms to mice. Are these just lucky coincidences? Leading researchers like Dr. David Sinclair, a professor at Harvard Medical School, are at the forefront of this quest. His work focuses on sirtuins. These are a class of proteins that regulate cellular health, DNA repair, and metabolism. They're often called longevity genes. They become more active during times of stress, like calorie restriction. Sinclair's research explores ways to boost sirtuin activity, for example, through molecules like NAD+ precursors. NAD+ is a coenzyme crucial for cellular energy and DNA repair. As you age, NAD+ levels decline. Can we simply restore them? These interventions aim to activate what are called survival circuits. These are ancient biological pathways that evolved to help organisms survive periods of scarcity or stress. By artificially activating them, we might trick the body into thinking it needs to go into repair and maintenance mode for longer. CRISPR, gene editing technology, also holds immense promise. Imagine being able to correct age-related genetic damage. We are moving beyond just treating symptoms. We are targeting the underlying mechanisms of aging. So if we could live to 150 years old, what would that even look like? This is where the modern mirror comes into play. The implications are staggering. For you personally, it would mean vastly more time for education, career changes, family, and leisure. You could experience several lives within one lifespan. Would this make life richer, or would it become an endless, repetitive cycle? Consider the societal impact. What about population growth? Resource strain? Retirement ages would have to be completely rethought. The idea of generational succession would change dramatically. Imagine having parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents all in their prime. Would older generations hold on to power indefinitely? Could this create social stagnation? Economically, Healthcare systems would face unprecedented challenges. Pensions would be unsustainable. New industries would emerge around extreme longevity. But the distribution of these technologies would raise profound ethical questions. Would only the wealthy have access to extended life? Could this create an even greater divide between the haves and the have-nots? Would living longer mean living better? Psychologically, what would such an extended existence do to your sense of purpose? Would the urgency of life diminish? Would the value of each moment be diluted if there were countless more? Would you fear death less, or simply fear it for longer? The human mind has evolved for a finite existence. How would it adapt to near-indefinite living? Is there a point where life becomes a burden rather than a gift? Aging is often seen as a natural process, but increasingly medical science views it as a disease, a treatable condition. If it is a disease, then we have a moral imperative to cure it. But if it's a natural process, are we interfering with the very fabric of life? These are not easy questions. The answers will define the future of humanity. You still yearn for more time. That fundamental human craving persists. The dream of a longer, healthier life, free from the ravages of age, continues to drive scientific exploration. Perhaps one day, living to 150 will be not just a possibility, but a common reality. But the question remains, are we truly ready for what living that long might mean for us, for society, and for the very nature of human existence?